All right. Good afternoon, all fellow targeted individuals out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As always, minus the targeting. I can only imagine the amount of madness that a lot of people are putting up with right now, especially with the current events that are taking place this year. Now then, I wanted to go over a few of the things that I've experienced as far as my targeting is concerned, and hopes that this will actually help you on dealing with the situation as it is. You must remember this one thing, and it's in Revelation to everything that they try to do. The whole perspective of the whole game itself is to first off discredit you and to, you know, give off the impression of you seeing, being looked at as mentally ill. Now, you must remember this well. People around you, they vary from different person to person. You've got some people who are actually just naturally wicked like that, who are just into just destruction or who literally just get off from harming others, who are just addicted to seeing other people suffer. And I mean, I don't think any of these people are actually gang stalkers themselves or have anything to do with it. And this would be the exact opposite of those types of people, which is a masochist. People who actually get off from stuff like that, from being tortured. So you got those two categories there. But as you know, the masochists, I don't think that there are I don't even think they would even have anything to do with this program. But you never know. You never know. So anyway, in regards to the situation, you have some people who are, just trying to make ends meet, who are just doing it just to make some money, just to make a quick buck. But, they are not really told the full story of the situation. They're told not to ask any questions. They're told just to do what they're told to do and then just go on about their day as if nothing happened. You've got people who are like that as well. And you also got people who know, who find out a little bit too much about the program and who are threatened into silence. So that's the current chain of events that we're dealing with. And then, of course, naturally, you got people who have absolutely no idea what's going on. And those are the people who they use against you. You got to understand if you're in the city, if you're in the suburbs, that area that you're living in is highly controlled. Okay. It's controlled and systematically set up to give off the wrong impression of you. The main objective that they want is to discredit you in any means necessary. When you start screwing with their dynamic and basically making the situation to where they cannot discredit you, making the situation where you actually point out everything that's seriously obvious, that, the stuff that's going on, and you do it in a logical manner. You have to be, completely thorough with this, because this is basically going to save your ass, because I'm telling you, they are desperately trying to screw you over. But I'm gonna give you some examples of some of the stuff I had to deal with. Going back to where I was planning on just leaving off the grid or whatever, right? When I was pushing the cart, unfortunately, I didn't take the actual weight of those boards in consideration, and because of that, it became very difficult to actually move that damn thing. Up and down hills. I don't know what I was thinking, because when I actually started to look at the map as far as what I was gone, there's no way I was going to be able to push that cart. And when I remember, the terrain as far as the sidewalks, that means I would have had to go into the street from time to time. There's no way I would have, made it down there with that kind of cart. Not with a makeshift cart. Maybe if one was like solidly built, like out of metal frames or something, then I would have made it. But, naturally, with the pontoon boat, what I was planning on doing is eventually reinforcing it after I, set sail, finding other parts to, strip, the place on there as well, all of that stuff. The boat would have been fine, but the problem it's the fact that, well, I'm a TI, so they F with just about everything. They do. But, and it seemed, it took them at least 2 different times to come to the realization of this. The more they F with, the more they start to really push this, the dynamic out of their favor. This happened when they started effing with the PlayStation. At first, I bought into it, but I showed a video of people of what you do when they start acting up like that. You know what you do? You basically unplug that and you leave it there. You exit yourself out of the matrix. You don't play the game. You don't you don't stoop to their entertainment. Because remember, they're getting off from you suffering. Don't play the game. You always have the option to opt out. You always do. So, in regards to the situation when the cart broke down, this guy's a perp, without a doubt. I don't act as if, I don't tip him off and letting him know I know very well he is. I just knew it was just a bunch of bullshit from the moment he showed up. Because, come on, dude. I'm constantly being surveyed 24/7 here. So, of course, I know he's a damn perp. So they send this guy and he says, well, like, I think, like you need somebody with a truck or whatever, right? Same damn thing. Like he just so happens to know exactly what I needed exactly at the time, which is, obviously anybody would think the same thing. But this just so happened to happen right after the damn thing broke down. Coincidence? I don't think so, because that whole area is covered by fucking bushes. So how is it that that guy just so happens to see that shit? And it ain't a damn coincidence. They told him just to show up. You want to know what he did? He said, maybe I can call a few buddies of mine just to see if they'd be willing to help you out, right? I play it off because I know that not a single, like, it's just, you should be able to see where I'm going with this. Basically, they sent him there to pull a stump light off like that just to try to put me in a depressive state. And I'm like, what do you not realize? I'm done with the fucking system. I'm done with the people who are a part of the system. I'm fucking, well, part of my language, but I'm done. Okay? I'm fed up. This is insane. People are this damn corrupt. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like this is not something I want to be a part of. And then it's bad enough that they're trying to program everybody. And then it gets worse. It gets even worse. So, naturally, no, everybody that he called, of course, it was just going to be a bunch of BS. Every one of them knew it didn't happen. And I knew it wasn't going to happen. So I'm like, okay, how about I try this? Because he just so happens to mention this before he left. Saying, do you have anybody you can call or anything like that? The only people in the area I would know who would possibly know somebody with a truck is my family. So they have somebody who has a damn truck, but they don't want to take me down by the river. No, they want to make this huge, unnecessary spectacle out of the situation. And the dude, my cousin's freaking out, just sitting there swearing like a sailor, shouting up to the top of his voice. I wasn't intimidated by it because I knew what it was. I knew exactly what it was. Each and every time he had he finished the sentence, it was always, you're being paranoid, you're being paranoid, you're being paranoid. And I'm like, dude, I know what the hell you're doing. No, I'm not buying into this mess. No. First off, I wanted to fucking go by the river. All right. I didn't want to go to nobody's house. I stated that. But, they kept freaking out. All kinds of stuff. You want to know as another result on this stuff? On how wicked this organization is? They had my own cousin call my aunt up. Send her saying, he's doing this and he's doing that. And I'm not the one basically raising my voice, and I'm not the one freaking out. He's the one freaking out and raising his voice, getting in people's faces and shit. I didn't do any of that, but he did quite plenty of that, but he didn't mention none of that. And a lot of this stuff is just, it's intended to try to get under your skin, to try to piss you off, to try to make you mad. I see through it and it's not working. No. So they mentioned the game, the whole PlayStation system thing, the same thing that they were messing with before. Talking about they probably, the first thing he asked me, as soon as I get in that truck, right? Then this is my cousin, is going like, do you got your game? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Right? I'm asking him what the hell he's talking about. He's going like, do you have your game? He's referring to the PlayStation 4. Now, if you're not aware, and I wasn't aware at the time, and I did talk about this before, but I will mention it again because everybody needs to be careful about this because they are using video games as a method to program people. You may have seen these occurrences when it comes to people having an unusual addiction to playing video games. That's the program, okay? So you need to be careful about that because kids tend to, get themselves way too involved with this. And I've seen a lot of questionable events that happen in these video games, man. And I don't understand why the fuck parents are buying this shit for their kids. I can't make sense of that. And you see, the only thing that makes sense is that people have been programmed to, just be more lenient than usual to purchase that stuff for their kids so then their kids can get programmed. And people don't, the people who aren't that too bright to really see the end of it, and it's not their fault. They just don't know. And that's just unfortunate. It's the fact that a lot of the stuff that's going on, you got people trying to warn the population, but then you got these assholes out there who are just hired to just discredit them. And then people just brush the whole thing off as if it was nothing until it's too late and they become assimilated into this gynocentric world that seeks to basically doom us all into whatever type of matrix it wants for all of us. So over here, this conversation with both my cousin and my aunt takes place near me. He doesn't walk away. He says this whole thing gets said near me for me to hear. Again, it's scripted behavior and it's just predetermined to try to get under my skin, to try to basically get me agitated, aggravated. It doesn't work. None of it works because I knew what it was. So they get into this scripted conversation. He's going off like, they asking about about the video game system and stuff like that, constantly bringing it up. And I'm like, you know what? You know what I did with the PS3 I had? I threw that in the garbage. I threw that right in the trash. And before I even left my aunt's place, I had another cousin of mine who was dropping me off at my brother's place, asked me the same damn shit. And I'm like, don't you all like communicate with one another? Because I know you do. You have to. And as soon as they asked me, like, well, what about your game system? I'm like, I threw that in the trash. Just to let them know. Because something what was mentioned and what was stated while both my other cousin was talking to my aunt on the phone. My cousin's going off like, well, he said he doesn't have a system no more. Like that, right? So my aunt goes off and saying, well, he must have, they must have just took his system as a way, as collateral to pay off. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you serious? I don't think they have, I don't think they can see the change in people at all. And the reality of this is that's how bad they are programmed. They're so damn programmed that they are blinded for seeing change in other people. They can't see people evolving or becoming way more than what they once were. They can't see it because they're blinded by either their greed or they're blinded by the fear or they're blinded by their own damn ignorance. So that's one of the methods they try to use against you to get under your skin. It's just to aggravate you. They are desperate to see you in this method. These wicked people get off from it. And I'm not talking about my family. I'm talking about the people who put them up to it. They wanted to see me in the oppressive state. They even went as far as to ask that guy who just so happened to help me with that pontoon boat parts that when the whole wagon collapsed, to ask me before he left if I was to die today, would I go to heaven or would I go to hell? I told him I'm going straight to heaven. Because you know why? I didn't tell him exactly why, but I knew exactly why. God may have put me on this planet. God may have given me this life, but I never asked to be subjected to this programming stuff. None of us have. Nobody asked for this. Nobody gave consent for this. So when it comes to a person's behavior, even if the person's a perp, I'm sorry to say this, and a lot of us need to come to the realization of this. A lot of us are victimized by this technology in some way, even if people are willing or unwilling. It's happening. The same people who are being used to basically stalk and psyop us are breathing the exact same air that they're poisoning. And look what happens when you got those same people who are very impressionable, who basically buy into this gynocentric world, just go ahead and say, fuck it, just do anything for a quick buck. It's insane. They're programmed, and it's like they've long since sold their soul away to the Satan. I do love my family, but you know something? This is something that's been going on, and I had no idea of it. And I can only imagine how many other family members of mine are involved who knew this was happening and then, just didn't say nothing or didn't, try anything to basically expose this for what it is. But I've been tipped off maybe 2 or 3 times by my aunt. 2 or 3 times. There were some hints dropped. The first one thing needs to be understood. Me and my other 2 siblings, we don't have the same father. What I was told was that whatever was left of my mother lies with me. And I'm like, that makes no damn sense because I have a brother and sister, right? I have 2 other siblings. So it doesn't make any sense. And I didn't understand what she was talking about. And for some strange reason, there are people selected in this. There are certain people selected in this to be in this damn program, to be victimized. And it's like, there are some seriously twisted ass people out there, man. There really is. There's some people who are so damn twisted, who are in positions of power that don't need to be there. I don't know how the hell they got in there. I don't know who the hell put them in there. But whoever put them in there was probably just as sick and twisted as they are. And they seek this, to basically project their mindsets and to inject their thought process into us. And we don't want any of it. But when you're being constantly harassed, stalked, and covertly drugged, dude, you want to sit there and try to speak out to the people what the hell's going on. But what good does it do when the same people are being used as sheep, as cattle? And they buy into every fucking thing the media is telling them, everything the police is telling them. And most of us have already seen that these police are nothing but damn order followers, and they ignore the real laws that are in the book. They make up their own bullshit ass laws to get, to try to get away with what they're doing. Understand this whole systematic thing is basically a criminal organization in itself. Basically, it's a criminal organization designed to basically deal with criminals, right? Think about it from this perspective. If there was absolutely no crime, absolutely none, do you think these police officers would still be collecting a check? The way I see it, it needs to be where there's no crime at all, and officers should still be paid. It shouldn't be a condition right there to where if there's no crime, then they don't get paid. You see, that creates a damn problem. You want to know why? Because that gets people to basically create crime. Think about it. People basically pushing the drugs out in the neighborhoods and stuff. Well, who do you think has the money and power to basically get that shit put right back into the cities? Who do you think got the power and money to do that? It ain't none of these dealers in the streets. I'll tell you that much. Not that much. They can't push that. They can't get that much smuggled into no damn city. People doing that, the people who are doing that are these damn billionaires. You see, they create chaos with stuff like that to create a systematical balance to the need for control. So they disrupt balance in order to create a need for control. Hence the words order out of chaos. The same problems that have been happening to the humanity, to these neighborhoods, these cities, these communities, has been basically the direct response of the behavior of the same system that has been trying to offer a solution. The same system that tries to offer you a solution is the same exact system that created the problem in the first place. You get rid of the system, you get rid of the damn problem for good. People don't want, in my honest opinion, people don't want to deal with this kind of shit. But we're dealing with people who have been systematically programmed from over decades, who had kids that they also got involved with the damn system that programmed them to program their kids, and vice versa. So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a system that has done this to people for who knows how many generations at a time. Who knows? As far as I know, as much as they've been messing with history, there's no telling how long they've been doing this. There's absolutely no telling at all. None. I've made a promise to myself that I would not bear any children in this world, ever. Not with this madness going on. Because what's happening, the fact that they can basically project someone else, basically inject someone else's mindset into another person, even when that person's not consenting to it. Dude, you have to protect your kids, not just from these perpetrators, but also from possibly from yourself. And it's a damn shame, because that's just how fucked up this world has become, man. You got to deal with the fact that they're constantly trying to program your mind, even in your sleep. Even as you sleep. You're not even safe when you're sleeping. You're not even safe when you're awake. That's how bad this whole thing has gotten. And it shouldn't be like that. The same system that is responsible for the suffering of targeted individuals is the same system that has been responsible for human trafficking of both men, women, and children. That's just the whole thing about it. And they have put so much money into it that this greed, man, it's just like you got people who have shit tons of unbelievably amounts of money. They could be doing anything, but they would rather fuck with you. They got nothing. You want to know, and you see, that should be a lesson right there. You could have all the money in the world, and you could do everything that can be done in the world, but you wouldn't be satisfied. You wouldn't be. It does. You cannot buy happiness, dude. You can't buy that shit. It's just not possible. You could have all that money in the world, do everything, but then what? What is left after that? This is why they invade in other people's lives so much as they have, because they're bored with their own. They're not even they're not even interested in their own damn lives anymore. Basically, they got so much shit going on that they don't even know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. And you see a lot of these these bumbling idiots sitting there just glorifying a lot of this crap out there. This is one of the major reasons why I don't even listen to rap anymore, man. And I'm not saying that, all rap is bad. We got some good rap out there. We do. We got some good hip hop out there. But I don't agree with the mainstream, the mainstream rap and shit like that. Basically that. The stuff that, all the commercialized based rap. All that stuff that's been promoting a lot of this violence and hate, and a lot of this, this whole covert symbolism to basically, push the structure for the satanic agenda. I don't agree with any of that, and I've long since abandoned that type of rap. But the rappers who basically rap about life experiences, a lot of the stuff that they've had to endure, the struggle, all of that, you all got my prayers, and you all definitely got my support, because at least someone is talking some real stuff out there, and we could definitely use a lot more like that. I myself may no longer listen to rap, but I don't believe that it's necessarily a bad thing. I believe that people just turn it into a bad thing for, both the wrong reasons and for the wrong intentions. But it doesn't have to be like that. Stuff that happens don't have to always be for bad. It doesn't always have to be for the negative. But we have people who are so wicked out there that they want it pushed into that perspective. That whatever good traits may lie within certain things get completely overshadowed. You can't trust anything the media is telling you. You can't trust anything Hollywood's telling you, because they've got their hands in so much wicked stuff that people are afraid to even speak of it. You don't believe me? Watch that documentary called Out of Shadows, and then see, then really process your thoughts on that. I no longer watch television anymore, but I haven't watched TV on my own terms in like several years. That I don't count the times where TV was just random, just so happens to be on. I'm talking about me actually sitting down with a remote in hand, turning the television on. Basically, I only did that like a few maybe a few weeks ago when I was staying in this motel. And I'm telling you, I am just beyond grateful I stopped watching TV. Half the crap I heard during these damn commercials, and a lot of this crap was very disturbing. It was very bothersome, and it kind of ticked me off, basically. And I'm pretty certain it ticked a lot of people off who knows that this whole scamdemic is just a bunch of bull. I was beyond mortified when I heard them saying basically all lives can't matter unless Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? How stupid are people, man? It's wrong to kill anybody. I don't give a damn what the hell your skin color is. It's wrong to kill anybody. Nobody is overvalued than anybody else. All lives fucking matter. People are basically trying to and again, this is just the damn government. This is just another systematical structure to have a bullshit excuse. And you know something, if that's the case, okay, like if that's the case that they want to talk about, let's talk about the crimes against of our own people, doing this to their own people. What about that shit? Why don't we ever hear them talk about that? Why is it always got to be in a diverse manner? Why does it always have to involve the fucking police? Why can't we ever discuss about the crap that's happening in the inner cities? Why not talk about the corruption that's happening within the neighborhoods between brothers and sisters like that? Why can't we hear more stories about that shit? You want to know why? Because there's no money in it. There's no money in it at all. And they need that shit to continue to happen for their own political structure and their own power structure for what they're trying to implement and what they're trying to push. That same video that I've seen on Twitter, a bunch of black folks, and again, from my other people use this term. I personally don't believe there is no black person existing on this planet. Period. I believe people who would who would refer themselves as black are actually brown skinned. Okay? Just in different shades, whether you're light skinned or you're brown skinned, and you could just be a darker shade of brown, but you're not, dude. Just take a sheet of cardboard, take a piece of something that's painted black, compare that to your skin. Who the hell is that damn black? Who the hell is that color? I would love to really see somebody that damn color, because I'm gonna tell you something. It's either the abbreviation or the meaning for the word black, and it represents the absence of color. So really think about this. A while back, most folks who are in my skin complexion, basically the same complexion as myself or darker or maybe a little bit lighter, they will refer themselves as people who are colored, right? So how the hell are you going to call yourself black when the very abbreviation or the meaning of that color basically represents the absence of color itself? So really think about that. When they say all lives can't matter unless Black Lives Matter, what do you think they're actually saying? I'm telling you, it's slick as fuck, because a lot of people don't get it because of how bad they were programmed. Basically, what they are clearly telling everybody is that no lives can matter until no lives actually matter at all, basically. But they won't come out and say that directly. They won't do that. But they'll say it in a subliminal type of way to fuck with people. I don't believe any of the crap that, they've taught in the schools. I don't believe anything about history is accurate that they've been talking about. I don't believe any of it at all, man, because I've seen enough to know that they're not going to teach any. These schools are not there to educate no damn kids. And it's a waste of your damn money to even send them there anymore. That's just how it is. It ain't sent when you send your kids to them damn schools, it's not there to educate them. It's there to program them. So when you have that understanding of what that is actually there for, I'm pretty certain most parents would not agree with sending their kids to a damn school unless they're just okay with the beast metric system. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Every day I fight as hard as I possibly can up against this mess. And this fight is very unfair, dude. It really is. You get no breaks whatsoever, none. Every single second of the day, every single minute, every single hour, every day, every 7 days a week, 30 something days out of the month, and the entire damn year, when you're a targeted individual, you are suffering day in and day out, night to night, morning to morning, noon to noon, weekend and weekdays of every freaking day of your life that remains of them constantly trying to freaking program you. And with them using, electrical systems like this, computer-based AI systems, how they have this stuff automated, it's a never unending assault on your psyche. It's never ending. It's just a constant thing fucking with you night and day. And if that ain't bad enough, you got to deal with the shocks from the, directed energy torture. You got to deal, even when you go out in public, they'll try to find ways to manipulate your behavior to fuck with you. And then they'll send the goons in to also make it that much worse. So, and this is what I've been talking about too. Fellow TIs out there, you need to understand they send these perpetrators out there to distract you while they're, since they got you laced with the nano, what you really are not paying attention to is that they're trying to program you. But when you start to detox, you start to be able to see and hear and feel the same stuff I've been feeling. And I've been able to read this shit as they are trying to upload it to me. As I kept getting farther with the detoxing, I could literally, no joke, feel and hear a lot of this crap that they were sending me. I'm going like, okay, that shit's not me. No, hell no. That was V2K, electrical magnetic hearing, and programming. People are not just gonna, the people responsible for this are not gonna be honest about it. You sure as hell can't trust the police. Hell no. Because they're a part of it. And they can't help you. They can't. And they won't. They just won't. Any officer who probably, have some actual morality would just be told to back down, to not intervene, and not do anything. Unless they were ordered to do something. They could kill us. They could end our lives just like that. But you need to understand this one simple thing. The people who are pulling these strings are highly satanic individuals, highly depraved and highly unethical beings. Very unethical. With both their intentions and their actions. Anybody could easily just kill somebody, but you know something? That's not enough to basically, allow that person's soul to be captured by the devil. No. Why do you think they try so hard to break you down? To break you down both spiritually and morally? Why do you think they try so hard to do it? They do all of this wicked stuff as an attempt to collect your soul. Ending your life, dude, that's your way out. As long as you didn't sell your damn soul, that is your way out from this damn torture. And you are on your way through those pearly gates, straight to heaven, as long as you live your life without any regrets. But at the same time, with this programming stuff, I believe the God who put us here understands the struggle that we're going through. Damn well. Far more than even we can understand it. Because we are, everything that we're experiencing, we're only just learning the tip of the iceberg. There's still a whole bunch more stuff out there to learn, to know about. Because there was just that much stuff that's being hid from us all. I may have chose the Ti life, well, not the Ti lifestyle, but the MGTOW lifestyle. But I don't know. Finding a regular woman, that's just not that's just, to me, that's just a complete no. Finding a woman in general, well, that's optional, but just any woman, absolutely not. Because first off, either the woman could be a perp or she could be a woman who's not entirely involved. The way I see it, they're going after everybody anyway, regardless of anything. They're going after everybody. You should see how much crap they're doing for this whole tracing mechanism that they're putting out there, man. It's insane. You cannot trust any of the new clothing lines that are out there, especially name brand stuff. Excuse me, name brand stuff. People who are buying Nikes or Jordans, I feel sorry for you. I really do. For those of you who don't know, and I have talked about it before, and I will talk about it again. The symbolism of Nike is related to the Saturn, the whole Saturn cube cult. And the Nike symbol is in representation as a check mark of them, as a representation of them having, ownership of your soul. You need to understand the devil works in contracts. So what do you think it means when you wear stuff like that? The Jordan symbolism is no different. What do you think that, you think the fact that, the whole Jordan symbol on those shoes just so happens to be in that type of shape? People, that's a damn triangle. What do you think has this, is in the shape of a triangle that has a single eye in the center of its tip? The very top. The all-seeing eye pyramid. Representation to the Illuminati. So, why do you think people are so addicted to buying Jordans? Why do you think people are so addicted to buying Nikes? It's because they were programmed into it. And think about it. People were being ripped off anyway whenever they purchase any of those brands. No retailer is going to spend no $100 something freaking dollars for that merch. No. They spend pennies, practically next to nothing for that. And then they're making that much through the market. People are being programmed to basically build wealth for the wicked. They send these perpetrators who use peer pressure, and this is why I said peer pressure is basically a mind manipulation scheme and a programming scheme. They use this to manipulate the people into getting stuff that they wouldn't normally want to get. You see, everybody wants to fit in, right? And this is another thing that I even went through when I was growing up, but I started to see through the rules when I got older, and I said, you know something? Fuck all that. Fuck all of that, because I'm not finna waste my time on that shit. And they are really they're really sneaky with this too. They put all this crap in these rap videos. They show these guys wearing these name brand crap. Just throwing the money out there, having these beautiful looking women up there as well. Very impressionable, but the whole damn thing is a marketing scam. The whole damn thing is nothing more than a marketing scam to get you to buy that junk, all that crap you don't need, selling you a falsified dream just to get you to spend every single dime on that junk. So who do you think is really living that kind of lifestyle? Because I'm telling you, and if you hadn't seen how stuff really turns out with these rappers, it ain't pretty. If you wonder why some of them mysteriously end up dead, it's because basically there was a hit put out on them. It was most likely because, they didn't want nothing to do with the system after they found out what it was about, and they got disgusted by it, And to prevent any type of leaks, well, they either end you or end your career. In this case, I can name several. Even people outside the music industry is no different. People in the entertainment industry, this is very quite common, especially with people with colored people. Very common. You ever wonder why so many dudes ended up in, so many dudes who were colored ended up in dresses? It's because it was a symbolic symbolism for that bullshit of theirs. It was that. That shit ain't just a coincidence. It's a whole lot of questionable stuff up in Hollywood. A whole lot. Look at I'm pretty certain even Cat Williams, he's a fellow TI. Look at the situation with his story. There's so much wrong with this world that a lot of the stuff that you would see, you would wonder. And I'm just gonna go ahead off and say it. You need to really look outside the box with the situation with these few people I'm about to mention. Bill Cosby. Hell, I even go as far as to even say R. Kelly situation that seems a bit odd itself. Very odd. Now understand this. There was how think about it. Even who was that? What was that dude's name? He's a comedian. I can't recall his name. I think it was Eddie Griffith. Yeah, Eddie Griffith. He said it himself. They had a hit list of several different comedians, and a lot of this shit started with OJ because they said that they marked him off as the one that got away, and they didn't want that happening again. So certain people who just so happened to be famous ended up on this hit list. Um, Ended up having both their careers completely ruined and their lives completely destroyed. First off, we already know the media is scripted as hell. This ODD TV showed plenty of that. I don't know if he may have been the original one who basically put that video together. I don't know. Maybe someone else did. Who knows? But the fact is that that's a video that shows several news broadcast stations with the exact same script, the exact same one. If you watch Out of Shadows, you would see how they're talking about there's a lot of wickedness up in Hollywood. If you look at the history, a lot of the stuff related to the music industry, you would start, and especially the sports industry too, because it's just as bad. You would start to see a lot of satanic symbolism. You would start to see a lot of unusual behaviors, and it's like people, the fact that you are following and watching this junk, what do you think that it really is, man? That shit is set up to basically program you into the matrix that is deceiving you so that you will never wake up. You can pray to God, but you must detox yourself from not just the crap that they're putting in the sky, but from the stuff that they're trying to basically entrap you in with this entertainment. You must break free from that. You have to. It's not our fault that we were programmed. It's not our fault that any of this happened, but it is it is up to us to deprogram ourselves from this matrix. It is. Ooh, man, I tell you, a lot of this stuff, man, a lot of the situations. If you, a lot of the covering of the one eye is satanic symbolism. I don't care who the hell they are. If you see any, celebrity doing that, here's his situation with that. If it's like on the cover of a magazine or something like that, and they're doing that, that's basically setting allegiance to the Illuminati. That's how it is. Now, Michael Jackson, he just so happens to be basically a magazine doing just that. I don't know what to say about the situation. What I think would happen with him is that he probably was possibly in, but he wanted out, pretty much. And they didn't like that. They didn't like that. The same thing with Cat Williams. They were trying to get him in, and he didn't. He said, "Fuck no, hell no." And he went even as far as to talk about the stuff on television. You want to know why? they harmed that man as much as they did, it was to send an example. They can't have somebody that famous speaking out like that because, well, that sits. And I've seen this before. I've seen it because I took a stand and not tolerating this peer pressure bullshit. I took a stand and basically, stood strong in who I was. I wasn't sitting there sagging, showing my underwear and shit like that. I refused. I said, hell no. I'll be damned if I allow myself to degrade myself like that. Not for the satanic organization. Fuck. All of that can basically just go F itself. Shove all of its symbolism where the sun doesn't shine. Basically. In regards to that, understand that it was a dude amongst this class that I was in when I was doing that, right? Like these assholes, like they kept ridiculing me like crazy. And it wasn't until later on that I figured out, something, I'm an actual target individual. This stuff has been going on since I was a damn child. And I had absolutely no idea about it. I had no idea my mother was experiencing this. And of course, she wouldn't tell me because she did not want me going through it. If I was aware of it, then she was afraid that my childhood would be ruined. Sure, there were going to be off times where some unusual things would happen, but imagine if I knew what that was and I was aware of it. At the same time, it's just as dangerous knowing about it as it is without knowing about it. Because you don't know who you're getting yourself involved with, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. By the way, you don't know. So anyway, the situations with all of that, man, it's just now that I look back at this stuff, it's like I laugh at some of it, at some of the attempts that they made, man, because it's just unbelievably hilarious that people that the situation is just that damn much of it's just much of a damn fraud system as it is. Man, the thing about this whole situation is that once again they could easily just as well kill you, but that's not gonna prevent you from going to heaven. The one thing they cannot stand is you going to heaven. This is why they're so desperate to basically mess with you as much as they do. The only way for you to truly be consumed by this madness is for you to submit to it. People who are in positions of fame, for those of them who basically did sell their soul, I don't know what to say about that. Maybe God is, but something, I believe for the ones who are trying their hardest to break free from it, I believe God is trying his hardest to reach out to them. It's not an easy task because, dude, you don't know what the hell's going on with the celebrities. You don't know. But you know something? I only got a few favorite actors, and those actors, let me just go ahead and tell you this right now. They're no longer in the business. They've long since either retired or they're dead. Okay? That's it. And those people were in very well-known films. One of the actors was the dude who played as Gomez in The Addams Family. And just so you know exactly which Gomez I'm talking about, it's the dude who also played in Street Fighter. The whole phrase that but to me it was Tuesday, basically. That guy's one of my favorite actors. I have a few more. Who else? Believe Bruce Campbell's another one. The dude who played off of Evil Dead. Who else? Rob Williams is another one. The guy who played as the genie from Aladdin. I've got a few other favorite movie actors. I got a few. Can't really name them off at the bat because it's just it's not a long list, but like some of their names, it just doesn't. You don't know it unless you actually see who that, see the image of their face. Then okay, then you know who that is, basically. But one thing needs to be understood: you can't trust anything from Hollywood at all that's in the mainstream media at all, dude. Because a lot of that shit is just, you're not getting the full story of the situation. You're not getting any. You're never getting the full story of any of that ever. I don't even give a fuck if it's even TMZ. They don't give you all the information of what really needs to be analyzed to see who's really at fault with what. And as fellow TIs know full damn well what this system has been doing. Oh yes. Oh hell yes. We fully know these gang stalkers use their kids, they use themselves, these females use their bodies as a means to basically fuck with you. So do the men do this shit to female TIs just as well as these female perps do this to male TIs. The situation has been, wicked since it began. And it never ends. I would love to find myself a woman, but if I find myself a woman, it's going to have to be a female TI. And I'm going to have to be very careful about that. But at the same time, if I do find myself a woman like that, she has to be willing to really deprogram herself from this madness. Because again, I'm telling you, they do this shit to get you to, when they gang stalk you with both subliminal messaging and the colors, it is meant to is as a distraction while they are hitting you with these programmable subliminal messages through either radiation hearing and these impulses. That's what it is. The more you start to ignore the gang stalkers, the more you start to be able to really center yourself back up to who you are, because then you're able to really protect your subconscious and to be able to actually have that stronghold to prevent this programming from really taking over and taking hold. And I'm telling you, it's no easy task defending yourself from this madness. It isn't. It's easier said than done. Don't let yourself be fully laced with this stuff, because I'm telling you, and I'm not joking, they can't control you like a damn robot. This programming exists within the televisions. It exists within a lot of this stuff, a lot of this entertainment that exists. Not even just that, man. Even in plain sight. And you wouldn't even know it. I know one thing for a fact: the kingdom that God has left for me to inherit after this life is done is greater than anything that any of the spoils, any type of riches that this realm could ever hope to offer, ever. The devil is is greatly jealous of this, and is why it is so desperate to preventing you from inheriting that kingdom. My apologies for the alarm. Looks like it is 6 p.m. I think it's probably a good time to end this vid. I hope this advice does help a lot of fellow TIs out. It may not be much. I may have rambled a bit, but I hope a lot of you start to understand a lot of this stuff. Anything that was like name brand that's symbolic in any kind of way, I would highly recommend you. If you are very spiritual and are awakening, I would highly advise you to get rid of anything that has a symbolic crap on it. Anything like that, anything name brand, don't wear it. Just throw it in the garbage. Get yourself some plain colored clothes, some stuff that does not have all of these unusual symbolic designs and insignias on it. Because I'm telling you that this whole satanic stuff, it is so damn covert. It's the same thing as Christmas, which is a pagan holiday. If you don't know what paganism is, you may want to research. You may want to research that. Same thing with Halloween, Thanksgiving. Every single holiday is all related to some sort of satanic or horrific event. Every one of them are. Every single one. But they don't tell you this. They don't tell you any of it. This is why I long since abandoned all of this crap, man. Because if the day I leave this earth, the day that my days is done, I'm not finna leave this earth celebrating these fucked up holidays. I'm not finna leave this earth wearing this subliminal satanic symbolist BS of theirs that they're basically promoting on to the masses. I'm not gonna lead this earth as no damn robotic zombie. I'm gonna continue fighting this damn program that seeks to control all of us as hard as I can, and I will continue to help other fellow TIs out there as well as best as I can. It's not gonna be easy, but I know one thing that I can actually live without ever regretting, and that's definitely not bringing my own kids into this world, because I would never be able to live myself with such a thing that happened, because I already know the suffering I've endured by me bringing them into the same world like that, especially with them trying to program me as well as them trying to program everybody else as well as the people they already got programmed. They would have to bear the suffering that I've long since left behind. The suffering that still remains here. I would never wish this type of wicked world upon any child. And I feel bad for those who are born into this world, has absolutely no idea what's going on. They have absolutely no way of knowing. And it's just unfair for them. It really is. I'm deeply hurt by the fact that they have to suffer not only by this damn corruptive system, but also by their own damn parents who are just okay with this corruptive organization, and they even go as far as to even teach them how to fucking do this shit. Go ahead, go ahead, son, go ahead, daughter. Work for this organization. It'll take care of you. It'll pay you to do this type of stuff, when in reality, you are working for workers of iniquity. That's going to be the end for this video here. Once again, I hope everybody's evening is going well. As always, minus the targeting. I send both my loves and prayers out to all of you. The situation with deprogramming ourselves from this madness is not an easy task, but it's not impossible either. Stay strong out there.